So welcome to this conversation. We're going to talk about right now what's really going on for real estate professionals across the country and with this huge opportunity that showed up called Google Local Ads. And the biggest thing why we want to bring it up now is because there's so much information that's missing in so many areas where agents can end up wasting a lot of money, a lot of time, only because they don't get the whole picture. So I have with me two other experts, digital marketing experts who've been in the business for years, and we want to bring you the unfiltered facts. We want to show you exactly what you need to consider if you're an agent and you want to succeed and you want to really take things to the next level and take advantage of this brand new opportunity called Google Local Ads. So let's begin. Let me just introduce my friends here. How are you doing, Alex Montalenti? How are you doing, Alex Ayub?
I'm doing great. I'm ready for this conversation. It's important, and it's not really talked about a lot. You can't search it on Google. You can't find a lot of videos about it on YouTube. There's not a lot of articles written about this yet because it's so new, and it can really make a difference for your business. And I think a lot of realtors don't really get it yet, how big this is going to be. And they also don't get everything that is behind it, like all the stuff behind the closed doors, all the stuff in the back end, all the stuff in the app, how the leads work, how reviews play a part, how your whole digital presence plays a part. We've been in this for 21 years. So, I mean, we've seen every aspect and we've seen every product that Google has rolled out. And people in 2021 are just catching on to Google AdWords. Google AdWords has been around since 2000. Google Local Ads just launched. I mean, give it a little bit of time and you'll see how big this thing will evolve and how many people are going to be playing on it. But this is like anything else that Google ever rolled out that's big in the advertising space. It's just the beginning.
I was gonna say, I agree with you completely. I mean, since I spend most of my time speaking to real estate agents, the, big sum of questions I'm getting on a daily basis are mostly related to Google Local because there's such a scarcity of information out there. And also, without there being easily accessible info, I jump on all these different markets and zip codes and I see so many mistakes being made because there's no clarity on it. So I'm glad we're actually going to be discussing this today. We're definitely going to help out a lot of real estate agents across the nation get the answers they're looking for when it comes to this new lead generator. So I'm glad to be talking about it today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Alex. I'm going to call you Ayub and Alex so that we can differentiate it. And it's so important. So if you're an agent right now, whether you're an agent, you're an office manager, whether you're a broker, or whether you're new, whether you've been in the business for many, many years, this conversation is relevant. And Alex, we can even talk about some of the top players who already jumped into this bandwagon, why they're doing it, why you need to pay attention. And in this conversation, we're going to try to cover as many items as possible, but this is really the beginning of multiple conversations we're going to be having. So stay tuned with us because we're going to make sure that we continue to bring you the updates. And at the same time, we can empower you to have all the resources that are going to save you time, are going to save you money, are going to save you frustration. And you can quickly start identifying the options from those that are really viable, from folks that are trustworthy, and those that are maybe not so trustworthy. It's really simple. The market is open, and literally any guy can come and say, hey, I'm a marketing person. Let me do this for you. And if you're an agent without the necessary training, you might say, okay, great. Save me money, save me time. And before you know it, it becomes a very expensive mistake. So I want to start talking first about the whole transition that took place ever since COVID-19 happened to us. So take it away, Ayub.
Yeah, so I've noticed that with the real estate industry, there are so many opportunities that arise digitally. And whenever a new one of these opportunities comes up, every time I see a ton of agents try to adapt and, take this head on, and they never signed up to be digital marketing experts. And they realistically are very familiar with how to do the business of real estate. So when they try and, adopt to these new times and take this and be hands-on with these new opportunities, I see a lot of mistakes being made. I see a lot of frustration with real estate agents. But what's really important to understand is, when it comes to the power of the individual agents and the marketing opportunities, at least from our end, I mean, I've spoken with Alex about this. We haven't seen a lead generator that puts the power in the agents come along like this for ages. It's been about maybe 10 years since we saw the rise of these different digital social media platforms and the advertising. But now with Google Local, it's a completely new monster. So there's a lot of misalignment with the people that are trying to adopt to digital marketing with COVID, because they aren't familiar with these new technologies. So I think that's what's happening here.
Yeah, and I think how do you explain technology to somebody that doesn't really get technology, right? It's like Greek, like I don't speak Greek, so go ahead, say whatever. It's like, I need a website. Okay, you need a website. Great, there's a $2 website, there's a $20,000 website, there's a $60,000 website. People would be surprised if I was to say you should invest in a $60,000 website as a realtor. They would probably look at me and go, you're absolutely out of your mind. And if I said, well, let me show you a business plan, how a $60,000 website will actually produce enough leads that you're gonna make $1 million this year, then would you listen? Because there's actually realtors in Miami right now that have invested $60,000 into their website and they make $1 million. They refer business for condos and co-ops, forget co-ops in Miami, right? Co-ops is New York. They invest money into their websites in SEO, in Google AdWords. They're probably jumping on Google Local. These people are heavy hitters and they know what they're doing because they understand the digital space. They've hired top marketing professionals to make a business out of their real estate business using digital. So that's just one example, like $5 website, $60,000 website. One produces leads, one is just a cute picture on the web, right? So now you take that to Google AdWords. You can invest $20,000 a day, $20,000 a month, $20,000 a year on Google AdWords and get completely different results, right? And then it's a matter of which agency you're using to run your Google AdWords. And I'll be the first to admit, like, I literally discovered a mistake I made because I was trying to run our own Facebook ads for one of our campaigns. It cost me $2,000 in 2 weeks. I lost $2,000 for our company in 2 weeks because I had one link wrong, and I'm a digital marketing expert, right? But I'm not like a tinkerer. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not going to go fix my links. I actually messed it up. And I hired a company for $1,500 to go fix everything. And now I'm happy that they're going to manage it for $2,000 a month, right? So this is like, when you're in the technology ad spend space, you don't want to mess around, first of all. And second of all, it depends how big you're playing, right? If you're an agent that's just going to put a few bucks into Google AdWords or Google local ads or Facebook ads, great. Then, I mean, any solution isn't really going to do a big dent for you. It's not going to lead to a high ROI for you, right? But if you're going to put hundreds of dollars, or you're going to put thousands of dollars a year, then you want to be careful how you're managing things. And what I'm seeing is that it's not apples to apples. It's not apples to oranges. It's like, do you treat it as a business or you treat it as like a game? Because for most people, this is serious business. This is the business of real estate. And that's why we're going to dive so deep into this topic, because it really opened up a can of worms for me to see that there's so many options out there for everybody. But you got to look at, what does the option actually include? What are the details of it? What's the ROI? Like, let's really get into it. What's the lead conversion? How much of that is relying on the agent? Are they picking up the phone? What does their marketing look like? What does their digital branding look like? What does their social media look like? You're going to convert based on how good you are as a business person across all those various aspects. Our business does well when all of the different aspects are in play. not just a little bit here, a little bit there. Just
Yep.
my 2 cents.
100%. 100%. You know, it goes exactly in the system of operations you described. Without one portion of this, the other part is not going to function properly. So I agree with you 100%.
I
And
remember when.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm just going to ask one thing to this. It's like, you can't have Google local ads doing well for you in the long run if you have one review on Google. Just saying. Like, I was driving down 95 the other day in Florida, and I see this giant billboard, and I was like, wow, look at that giant billboard for a realtor. I was like, you know what? I really appreciate that. That's an old school technique, promoting a website on a billboard, but it wasn't for that. It's because that same realtor is also running Google local ads across the board. That same realtor is also running social media ads across the board. That realtor is so well known that when you bring up that realtor's name, everybody knows that realtor. That's like diversified marketing and branding across the board at a whole new level that most realtors won't even ever touch.
Man, you saw the reaction you got out of me without even speaking. You know, that speaks volumes to me. When you see a real estate agent that's taking the time to invest, you know, himself in having this different pieces of content displayed across the board. Because for me, one thing I've noticed that works extremely well is frequency, whether it be ads, content, having consistency on different social media platforms. The more you frequently are popping up here and there, the higher your brand awareness gets. The higher your brand awareness gets, the more reach, the more leads, the more conversions. So it's insane. So when you talk about good agents, they're good agents because they're available everywhere. They're easily accessible. They're personable. That's what somebody wants at the end of the day. They want someone that makes their real estate transition nice and smooth. If you're all over the place, trust me, that realtor is going to make your whole experience really amazing. So I agree with you so strongly on that.
And that's one of the things I love about this Google local is I put in like best Miami real estate agent and 3 realtors show up on the top of the search for desktop, or I put it on my phone and 2 realtors show up. And then I go best realtor Coral Gables, and that same agent shows up on top with like 50, 100, 1,000 reviews. And then I Google another local area and I see that same realtor. That's a realtor that gets Google local ads and is crushing it. You know, but then there's a bunch of people on Google local that have 1 review or say, hey, I'm closed, like literally says I'm closed in red letters. And it's like, really? That's how you advertise yourself, as closed? Who set up your ad? I just want to know, like, can I speak to this person?
Yep. That's really, really, when you look at it, that's kind of like the huge disadvantage the majority of agents have. I remember, Alex, when I started working with you. Oh, but by the way, quick introduction. My name is Mario. This is Alex Ayub and Alex Montalenti. We are part of Real Greater marketing agency, more than 21 years in the business. Our number one specialty is real estate. We don't talk about everything else. We focus on that. We thrive on that. We're an award-winning organization, and our entire commitment is to provide value, remove the stress of the technology fuzz and all the know-how stuff, so that agents could thrive and focus on what they're good at, which is establishing amazing relationships, expand their businesses, and really shine. And I think now more than ever, this opportunity to really become a superstar online is real. In the past, it was like, you know, you should do this, you should do that, but who knows? Today, it's real and it can happen very quickly. But going back to your point, Alex, it's not like agents are provided a checklist on this is what you have to do to make sure you don't end up blowing your money for nothing and then becoming frustrated and then hating marketers. They're just doing the best they can with the limited information they have. And only us, we have this like X-ray vision that we can already tell miles away, like this is going to work against you. This is why people are not calling you. Like,
I gotta correct you for a second. We actually do have the checklist. We actually built the checklist for every single platform, all 8 of them. We did take the time to do that. It's just that not everybody reads the checklist, and then not everybody takes action on the checklist. You know, I was really impressed by one of our clients. We did a challenge, and not every realtor takes on our challenges, right? But we do the challenges for a reason. Why do we challenge people, Mario? We challenge them so they actually grow their business, right? And we said, hey, who's going to get 25 five-star reviews on Google? And one of our realtor clients did it in 30 days. And that realtor is on Google local ads with now 40 five-star reviews, which is way above the average, let's say in Long Island. Now, if we go to other areas like Austin, Texas, some of those realtors have 400 five-star reviews. In Florida, this realtor, this was a female, a team leader, she had over 1,000 five-star reviews. So yes, we do have the checklist. Actually, the question is, A, do you read it? And then B, do you take action on it? Do you have time for that? Are you going to, make the move? We all know we can read a lot of books, but at the end of the day, how much of it does it actually get implemented in our business or in our life?
Absolutely. So definitely, if you are aware about the checklist that literally establishes you as a brand, as an authority, as an influencer, then stick with that and build from it. Otherwise, you do set yourself up for disappointment. And the thing is, we hear about this every single day. Every single day, I hear from agents that are saying, number one, they say, how much is this going to cost me? And do you have any information of other agents who are being successful with this? And that's as far as they go with their knowledge and understanding, which is very basic compared to what you said earlier. You need to have the entire plan, the entire checklist. Then you can actually ask sophisticated questions and become like those top producers who know how to invest their money on billboards, on websites, on Google local ads.
Agreed. So I think what we should get into right now is maybe, solve the mystery of what is this checklist for Google local ads.
Yeah, I mean, the number one thing for Google local ads in the long term, as far as is your reputation. Your reputation, we've always said this, is on the line, and it's online. It's on Google. It's always been on Google, right? It's just now people are resorting to Google to look up stuff. They're resorting to Google to look up Mario Hurley, Alex Ayub, Alex Montalenti. I mean, there's, for sure, when somebody says, hey, Alex, we want to have you come speak at this event, they're going to Google me, right? And if they're going to say, hey, Miss Jane Smith, can you list my home? If I don't Google them, my bad, right? Like if you don't list my home at the right price and you don't sell it within a time period that is acceptable to me, and I didn't Google you first, okay, my bad. Like obviously I'm going to do my research, and now the research is online, and we all know it. If I was to Google any realtor, I know what's going to show up. If they're set up properly, their Google business page is going to show up, just like any business would show up on Google Business. Their Facebook business page, their Instagram profile, their LinkedIn profile. If they have a YouTube channel, I might see their YouTube videos. 60% of realtors don't have that set up, right? Then we're going to look at their homes.com, which was just bought by CoStar. So now who knows what they're going to do with that, right? And then you got Zillow.com, you have Realtor.com. These are the profiles that every realtor is going to be on. And now if we look at the anatomy of Google, it started with Google SEO, which we've been doing for 21 years and still have clients above Zillow on page one for their local towns or their co-op buildings or you name it. And then you've got Google AdWords, which is pay-per-click. Then you've got Google Businesses and the Google Map. And then all the way on the top now, you have Google Local Ads. And your headshot with your phone number can be right on the top. I mean, talk about the biggest supermarket in the world or the biggest search engine in the world and having your mug right on the front of it. That's the way to go. That's branding.
Yeah, 1,000%. And in the past, what I've always heard real estate agents say is, oh, but what about these platforms? They have so much competition. I'm competing with this person and that person and this big corporation. What's awesome about Google is that they've leveled the playing field. Just like you said, when you search up best realtor in Miami or best realtor in Long Island, what shows up at the very top is going to be one of the individual agents' faces. They're not allowing these big players to compete with you, which is why this opportunity is so fantastic. You know, you have very little competition since it's such a new service, and now it's all based on you. The power is in your hands. Do you want to build your brand up? Do you want to go out there and get reviews? Do you want to build up your online reputation? It's all up to you now. So I think that's what's amazing. You can now take control on your own with this opportunity.
And that's perfect. As a marketing agency, we can do the best to get you right on top. But at the end of the day, it is also going to be up to the realtor to stay on top. And why the factors that are going to rank whether or not you're on top is how many reviews do you have? What is your star rating? Do you have 5 stars or do you have 4.2? You know, do you pick up the phone? Are you responsive? Google's actually using a Google voice number to record every single phone conversation. So imagine this, every phone conversation off of a call, off of Google Local is getting recorded and stored in your desktop account as well as in your mobile app account so that you can listen to the recordings as much as you want, which is nice because let's say you missed the phone number, the callback number, you missed the email address that they provided where they want you to send them listings. You can listen to the recording again. You know what the nice thing about that is too? Some of our clients actually have us look at the phone calls to understand if they're answering the calls the right way. And guess what? A lot of realtors are not answering the calls the right way. You'd be surprised that some realtors answer the phone like this, hi, and then the person on the other end goes, hi, and they didn't introduce themselves as a realtor. Like, hi, I'm Alex Montalenti, licensed realtor at XYZ company. How may I help you today? That's just like a standard professional response, right? But you'd be surprised that that's not happening. And then what's the conversion after that? What's the call to action? Are they saying, hey, provide me with your phone number and I'll send you listings? What's your text message? Are they doing a follow-up campaign? Are they sending a follow-up text? Are they putting them into the CRM? What are they doing with that lead to convert it? Honestly, most realtors are going to burn these leads. Let's just face it, because most online leads get burnt. And the word on the street is online leads take too long to close. But if you go listen to the top technology gurus that leverage real estate technology, they go, I love my online leads because I put them in an automated drip. I put them in an automated campaign and I hit them like 7 times, 10 times, 15 times until they actually buy, which could be 6 months later, could be a year later. Maybe their sister or their brother lists with me a year and a half later, but I had them in my database. I tracked the source and it came from that online lead that I thought wouldn't be so good, but actually turned out to be really, really good and led to a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 commission check. Who knows, right? But the problem is not everybody's got all the systems in place. We want to train agents on how to put the right systems in place, how to answer the phone properly, how to build their online reputation and reviews. This is a long-term game. This is just like opening up the can of worms, but there's like, 40 more cans to go.
So when it comes to what we're saying, you as a successful realtor, wherever you are, not only do you need to have full clarity around what establishes your reputation, what are those platforms that establish you as the authority in your town, and this also applies, Alex, to people who are marketing in other states other than their home state, correct?
Oh, absolutely. There's people doing Google local ads, picking up leads from Florida, referring them down. You can do whatever you want with this.
Exactly. So first you establish yourself as the foundation, then you can market yourself however you want to market yourself. But then the next piece of the puzzle is making sure you have the structure on how you're going to handle your leads and the support system that's going to allow you to manage your campaigns, your funding, your approach so that it is effective rather than hit or miss or good luck with that one or just put more money into it.
Yep. So
say more about that.
I think you put the nail in the coffin there, because throughout the years there's been so many agents, at every level, whether they're brand new or top producers, that come up to me and they say, hey, I've been spending all this money on ads and I get all these leads, but my conversion percentage is low. And they go, check it out, why do you think this is happening? And I go, all right, let's jump into it. I check out the ad. They paid for the ad is absolutely amazing. That thing is 5 stars. But then I go, okay, there's always an identity behind that. Who's the identity? The realtor that launched the ad. So what happens is you generate interest for whoever sees the ad, but then they go, okay, cool, this ad rocks. Who's the agent? Your name is going to be on there every time. Next step is after they generate interest, next part of the buyer's journey is they go online and they do the information search. If there's a disconnect between this amazing advertisement that is a rock star ad and the individual behind that advertisement, this person's going to be like, okay, there's something fishy going on. Why am I going to trust them and do business with them? So that disconnect is the biggest mistake that agents are making. Build a strong online brand before you invest a penny in any sort of advertisement. And then I guarantee your conversion is going to get higher. And then strong presence, pay for ads, and like Alex Montalenti mentioned, management afterwards. That's going to make you a successful agent. Guarantee that.
And looking at agents that we get to have the privilege of seeing agents that either have been in the business for the longest or folks who are joining the whole craziness of real estate. And what we see is the ones that did put in the time to establish their foundation because of their work ethic, their integrity. They did not want to skip a couple things. They did not, they were willing to invest the time and money into establishing that foundation. Now what they're reporting is, I'm getting leads, I'm getting contacts, my reputation is amazing. Wherever I go, people say they've seen me before. And it almost seems like, well, it's because you're pretty or because you're nice or because whatever. No, the reality is they have set that up. That's the biggest thing. It's painful. Like you said, Alex, it's just painful. It's like, what happened? How could you not put in your right number on your Google business? Or how could you not have a Google business page today in 2021? Like, why are you still leaving that to chance?
Yeah, Google Business launched in 2014. Just saying.
Yeah, so it's something. This is why we're going to be continuing to bring this conversation to the table. This is why we're going to challenge you. Like you said, Alex, we're going to challenge you. We're going to educate you, because it's enough that people are doing the best they can, but doing the best without the necessary training and the resources, and actually having quality guidance is still not going to be enough. So stop, like, I'm going to say, stop being cheap. Stop being cheap with your time. Stop being cheap with your money. Stop being cheap with your resources. Like, look for what is the best source of information. Where can I find the best quality support team? Where do I have the most up-to-date information on all these marketing opportunities? And then go all in. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I would say that's the lesson we've learned. I mean, I've tried, Mario and I mean, you and I have spent nights working on ClickFunnels, right? And then we've bought all the guidebooks on ClickFunnels and paid for the educational training from people on ClickFunnels. And literally, I just signed a contract to have the ClickFunnels done for us. It was like the best decision I ever made in my life when it comes to ClickFunnels. The amount of hours and the amount of times that I not only downloaded the books, but bought people's stuff just to see what their ClickFunnel campaign was like versus just hiring a professional to do it for us. I'm so happy that I just signed them up, and now when it comes to Facebook ads, I was like, same deal. How much money have I wasted? How many different vendors have I gone through because I wanted to save a buck here, I wanted to save a buck there. I remember I hired a Facebook ads person by the hour even, like $20 an hour. Then I was like, all right, I'm going to spend $100 an hour. And then I'm like, I'm going to spend $900 a month as a retainer. And now I'm like, whatever, I'll spend thousands of dollars a month on Facebook ads because it's done right by a professional. At the end of the day, it's ROI, return on investment. It's a business deal, right? It's like, I look at some of these biggest campaigns that we could do as a company, and they want to charge us $60,000 a year. And I honestly look at them and I go, all right, sounds like a big number, but if there's an ROI, I'll pay $60,000 a year all over. I'll do it 10 times. Let's go. It just has to have a positive ROI and it has to make sense. So I'll always choose, quality to get a positive ROI than kind of, try things out here and there.
Try things out, or try to do it yourself.
That too. Yeah, and I get that some people do it themselves because they're like, you know what, I don't have the budget for it right now. But at the end of the day, maybe paying somebody to do it actually will pay off in the long run too.
I mean, definitely, if we were to go back to a year from now, when we decided let's do this ClickFunnels thing, yeah, we could have probably saved money and time and sleep if we took that approach from the get-go.
But I want to know it all. I want to know how to do it, Mario. I want to tinker in there. No, I mean, that's the attitude I took too. It's like, I want to know it all. I want to do it myself. I don't want to give away the control to some other company. But now I'm like, I wasted so much time on it. I'm exhausted. Let's just get it done right. It's a business at the end of the day. I want to go home and sleep at night and be with my kids, not like hang around on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And when it comes to leads, so now, I'm going to wrap up this conversation until our next episode. But when it comes to leads, like, everybody wants leads and everybody has their own version of like, well, those are good leads, those are crappy leads, those are leads take time. But it's like, number one, where currently do we know of right now are the best type of leads you can get? Two, what system do you set up for yourself so that your leads have a greater chance of working for you in the long run and on the short run? And how do you position yourself to be at the top of those leads? So I'd say let's bring on our next conversation, let's cover that, but maybe let's give everyone a little taste of this.
Listen, your best leads are probably in your sphere. Let's just be honest. But are you leveraging your sphere? The biggest thing I saw when we used to go to real estate offices, they would have a contact database. And I'm not saying they would actually have a contact database. They would have their contacts in their phone, and that was their database, right? Now, were they actually connecting all those contacts on social media so that they could reach all those people on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn? Usually not. So that's number one. Then the other thing is, okay, you want to run Facebook ads? Great. Have you uploaded a custom audience with your sphere so that your sphere is seeing your ad repeatedly and can actually refer you to other people and tag you in it and say, hey, he or she did a great job for me? Are you collecting phone numbers, email addresses at open houses and retargeting those people? Are you texting them your digital business card so that they can actually see what a great online reputation and credibility you have? Then when it comes to Google local ads, are you on there with your reviews? Does your Google business page have your reviews? Have you asked your contact database to give you a review? All these people that love you and think you're doing a great job on real estate, all those people that when you post that just sold on Facebook and they all comment and hundreds of people go, congratulations, way to go, good job. Are you actually reaching out to them and saying, you know what, thanks so much. Would you mind giving me a 5-star review on Google because I'm also building up my online reputation? I mean, one of those posts could turn into 50 Google reviews.
Yeah.
Right?
And
it's
go ahead.
There's just so much low hanging fruit. It's not, I think it's just a matter of creativity, and it's a matter of leverage what you actually have in your business already. Because let's face it, I mean, most of your clients are going to be the ones that ambassador you to other clients.
Yeah, and they do that because, right, they have some sense of relatability with you since they are in your sphere of influence. But what I can recommend is if you humanize your brand, right? If you take these essential real estate platforms and you humanize yourself on these platforms, you make your information easily accessible. You have your specialties clearly displayed. The neighborhoods you do most of your business where you're an expert and you spend some of your time in even. If you make that information easily accessible and you're in front of the camera all the time, you humanize yourself. You bring that sense of relatability to your new leads, to the new people you're reaching, and they already feel like they know you, just like the people in your influence. So the stronger your brand is, the more human you become, and the more these new leads feel like family. Easier to convert.
Okay, couldn't say it better myself. Of course, there's difference between knowing what to do and actually doing it. So we're going to share with you what agents that are successful, what they're actually doing. So you can actually take some notes, follow structures that actually are effective, save yourself the time and the frustration and the sleepless nights. And right now, it's a huge opportunity here in 2021. We're in the middle of April having this conversation. Things are going to grow very quickly. So stay tuned until our next conversation. Again, this is Mario with Real Greater with Alex Ayub and Alex Montalenti. Till our next episode, feel free to comment or send us an email if you have any questions, and you can even join us on one of our live webinars.
Yeah, and also if you have any specific questions, I think we're also going to bring in a Q&A at the end of some of our episodes. So feel free to email us the questions, leave them in the comments section, and we'll definitely address them with our team of professionals over
Yeah, you know what's cool about this? My mom's friends always wanted to like adopt me to help them with their real estate business. So, and a lot of clients always say, can't we just adopt you guys? Like you have so much knowledge in digital marketing. Well, here's an opportunity for you to take the three of us, Alex, and Mario, put us in your pocket, and we can be that little birdie in your ear or that voice in your head when you're talking to people or you get off the phone with somebody or you're thinking how to market yourself. And all those digital little birdies, the two Alexes and Mario going, hey, why don't you text them your digital business card? Hey, why don't you ask them for a review? Hey, why don't you post this on social media and leverage it this way or that way? We want to be those birdies, and you can put us in your pocket, put us in your mobile app, device, YouTube, you name it, whatever it is, listen to us wherever, and we will be those birdies in your ear, and will lead to growth and scaling up your business.